The Pink Rathian roars, 3 fireballs erupting from her mouth. This subspecies is a formidable opponent for this hunter. But what causes the pink coloration? Let's find out. Well, hello there all you absolutely magnificent people, and welcome back to another episode of An Ecologist Plays, where we talk about nature while playing games. My name is Will, I'm an ecologist by training, and we are back in Monster Hunter World. And today, we are taking on a new creature, well, newish at least, a subspecies of a known one. We are going to be taking on the Pink Rathian. So to start the mission, let's quickly go chat to the commander, and let's see what they have to say. But before we do that, just quickly going to pop in here by our room, because as you can see, I have moved into a new room here, and wow, this is just absolutely lovely. So many animals we can actually display here, including these big spiders here that very much resemble orb weaver spiders. They've got their web across these pillars here. Great spot for them to actually have their web, because any insects flying past here would get trapped in those webs. And in fact, you can see a whole bunch of little insects caught in the webs over there. That is just absolutely brilliant. But that's not the main attraction. The main attraction is actually right up here, because off screen I have finally managed to catch a downy rail. It was also on an Apsaros, exactly where I saw the downy crakes running away from me previously. So we finally have got one right over here, and that is just, it just warms my heart. Alright, now let's go chat to the commander. So the ecological research team have figured out what on earth is making those strange tracks, and it's in the Coral Highllands. And there we go, the quest, Old World Monster in the New World. Wonderful. And just before we head off, as you can see here, I'm rocking my little old school armor. I've got my Rathalos helmet, mail, and vambraces, because those together give me Rathalos power, which does extra elemental damage, so that is marvelous. Also have Death Stench Bowels here, which increases dragon attack. Also rocking the Wormsbane Charm, which also increases dragon attack. And then lastly, just the Rathian Greaves over here, which just helps us recover more health. And of course, we are going to be taking on the Pink Rathian with the Dragon Bone Cutter level 2. So our Dragon Charge Blade over here. Alright, enough chat, let's do. Oh, what a way to travel, eh? Lovely to be back in the Coral Highlands. Although now, I believe, the Highlands are going to be getting a little bit more dangerous. Ooh, that's a fireball out of nowhere, and another one. Oh, there we go. Pink Rathian indeed.
A Rathian? No, wait.
Yeah. Okay. Very agile, surprisingly agile in air. Now, I know Rathalos is usually much more agile in the air, but the Rathian here seems very, very proficient. Oh, it is gorgeous. It is absolutely gorgeous. The Pink Rathian is a subspecies of the normal green Rathian, but whether it can truly be called a subspecies is a matter of debate. It could simply be a color morph of the normal Rathian, like animals with leucism, erythrism, melanism, or other color variations. In order to be a true subspecies though, there needs to be some kind of isolation, either geographically or reproductively. Now there does appear to be some degree of geographic isolation, with the Green Rathian occurring in the Ancient Forest and the Wildspire Waste, and the Pink Rathian occurring in the Coral Highlands and the Wildspire Waste. So since there is some overlap between the two subspecies in the Wildspire Waste, there also needs to be reproductive isolation, where certain Rathalos select these Pink Rathian over their green counterparts, allowing the allele, if this pink coloration is indeed caused by genetic mutation, to persist in the population. But for the Pink Rathian to still exist, there also needs to be some benefit to the pink coloration. Maybe the tougher scales give it an advantage in certain conditions. Maybe the pink coloration is better camouflaged in the Coral Highlands, allowing them to persist in the environment, but not allowing them to persist in the Ancient Forest, where they would stand out like a sore thumb. This could be similar to how melanistic leopards, which together with melanistic jaguars are called black panthers, are more common in forest ecosystems than in savannas or other open ecosystems. The dark coloration may give them an advantage in the dark or gloomy environments, but may put them at a disadvantage in more open or more sunlit ecosystems. But is this Pink Rathian more dangerous than the Green Rathian? Let's find out, shall we? Alright, so that's the Pink Rathian, is it?
Partner? Don't worry about me. I'm alright. That's a subspecies of Rathian. Really strange because there hasn't been any reports of them in the New World before.
Okay, so first ones for the New World. Good to know. We're just, getting rid of the Gajalaka over here. and avoiding the tail swipes. Oh, and there we go. The signature move, of course, it is going to have a tail swipe like that. Now, as with the normal Rathian... Ooh, that's a nice attack. As with the normal Rathian, the Pink Rathian here would have a venom gland in its tail, which it will be able to use to envenomate us. Okay, so we have got to stay out of reach of that tail. And I believe 2 tail attacks it can have. There we go, that's the normal attack right there. And then there we go, and there's a charge that it also does. But I believe it can also do a tail swipe, which I can't recall the normal Rathian doing that. Ooh, there's a Legiana. The question now is the Legiana and the Rathian going to fight? It is quite possible, or maybe not. No, the Legiana is coming after us. Well, coming after Memphis at least. Ooh, there we go. There we go. It seems they are in fact challenging one another. So both of these are big predatory creatures, and you know, predators generally don't like it when other predators are in their environment, in their territory. Look for example at lions and hyenas. Oh, they really don't like one another. And so it's quite possible that these two here will be showing each other a bit of aggression. And we just have to kind of stay out of both of their ways while they battling one another. Ooh, that's a nice fire attack there. So while we are watching this spectacle over here, let's quickly chat about Pink... Ooh, oh, okay, it's, you know, be on fire apparently. Yeah. I was going to say, let's chat about Pink Rathian and why on earth it is pink. But there it goes. Legiana is still going to come after us. Okay, so we're just going to run away from Legiana. We don't need it. Ah, there we go. The Rathian has actually accidentally been caught in our shock trap. So this is marvelous. This gives us a bit of an opening. The Rathian... Oh, there we go. Okay. I've accidentally grabbed onto the Rathian. That's great. Now, the Rathian here definitely has much tougher armor, because my blade is bouncing off a bit more than it normally does on the normal Rathian. So, yeah, definitely thicker armor, which would make it heavier as well. And I think we're going to be flashed by Titiaku there. I'm not sure where Titiaku is, but probably in the Pink Rathian fray over here. So we're just, you know, going a bit crazy here. And of course, Titiaku is kind of upset with us. Look, we're not the ones attacking you. We're just minding our own business over here. Alright, but anyway, as I was saying, Pink Rathian definitely more heavily armored than the normal Rathian. And you know, this could be due to 2 things. One possible explanation is that the Pink Rathian here is pink due to some kind of mutation, and it could be that that mutation also results in it having a thicker hide. But that mutation that makes it pink, makes it stand out from all... Ooh, that is a vicious attack. Okay, okay. Good to know. That is a serious attack. I was like chatting quite happily about the Pink Rathian, and then it just went, okay, bye now. But here we go, okay. Another attack now. We'll hopefully remember to try and stay out of the way of that Pink Rathian over there. Especially its tail. There we go, hello there. But as mentioned, heavier scales, which does give its charge a bit more oomph. And also that tail swing. It makes it a little bit more deadly. Oh, there's an Odogaron as well. I'm wondering whether the Odogaron is going to take on the Pink Rathian, because Odogaron loves punching above its weight class. There we go, massive strides. Unfortunately, it seems the Pink Rathian is not quite as strong at the moment, at least. She's a little bit weakened. Unfortunate for her, not for us. I'm really surprised by her ability to actually fly quite well. She really is a bit more aerial than the normal Rathian we had been fighting. So I am very surprised by that. Nice fire attack there, as one expects from any of the Raths. Oh, there is the Tiaku is also arriving again. Let's see whether the Tiaku flashes the Pink Rathian for us. Or maybe it will flash us. Ooh. Alright, there we go. Come on, go flash it. Ooh, the Tiaku has been knocked by the tail of the Pink Rathian there. And now the Pink Rathian will also be flashed a bit. Not very effective against it. Come on, Rath. There's a nice explosive trap over here for you, especially for you. There we go. Right like that. Ooh, miraculously missing me there. Bit of divine intervention there. This is not a great place to fight it. There's the knock that got me previously. Ooh, no, that's the one that got me. Ooh. Yeah, she's enraged. Yeah, there we go. That does make sense. No wonder I'm battling. And off she goes again. Really very, very strong flight for a Rathian. I'm really used to the Rathian sticking to the ground a bit more, not being quite as airborne. Oh, there's the Odogaron up there. I see the tail. Flesh puppy. Flesh puppy. Hopefully the Odogaron goes after the Pink Rathian and not after us. Oh, it looks like it wants to. It really looks like it wants to. Is it? It is going to go after one another. Well, ooh, there we go. Odogaron. No. You're going after the wrong person. Go after the Rathian. There we go. I am not a threat to you. I'm not here to attack you. I'm here for the Pink Rathian, not for you. The Odogaron, of course, using its agility and its strength to attack the Pink Rathian there, and you know, it's surprisingly agile for such a big creature. I absolutely love it. Hello, Wrath, charging into nothingness there. The Odogaron did manage to actually get two things knocked off the Pink Rathian, which is really amazing. There we go, knocking out with a Sleep Toad, allowing us to do a bit more damage. And the Odogaron, okay, the Odogaron is going. Ooh, that almost got me there. Again, almost got me. Oh, she's enraged. That's what's happening there. There she is, finally on the ground again. And just a nice whack to the body. And here comes Tiaku again. The Pink Wrath really fighting with everything in the area. Mainly us. And off she goes again. Now this thing we see of the Pink Rathian being so aggressive because it is persecuted by members of its own species or whatever happens to it. I mean, it's had a very tough life. Whenever you have some kind of color morph of an animal, very often they do have a more difficult time. If you look, for example, at leucistic animals, or you look at melanistic animals, or you look at any of the color morphs, or for example, antelope species bred for a particular color scheme, well, they generally stand out from the background, so predators do see them more easily. If you are a predator, like the Pink Rathian is here, well, you will then be more easily spotted by your prey. So it makes it more difficult to catch your prey. Either way, whether you are a predator or a prey animal, being a different color from most individuals of your species is not great. Additionally, it does mean that members of your same species but of the opposite sex... Is it sleeping? I think it's sleeping. I think it's... Is it ready to trap? Surely not. No, it's not. No, it's not. Okay. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but I couldn't set a trap there. Oh! It is ready. Well.
Monster subspecies, right here in the New World?
Huh.
We need to report this to the commander, ASAP.
Okay. Well, that happened. Thank you, Memphis, for trapping that Pink Rathian for me. Alright, so that is the first Pink Rathian I have encountered like ever in the game, so that is quite awesome. Quite a lot of rewards as always, and let's take it all. Aha, yo, what a beauty. And this time around we did not cut off the tail.
Never thought we'd find her in the Coral Highllands.
Yeah.
It takes a small combination of miracles for a subspecies to emerge. At least that's what the scholars said.
All the same, she's in remarkable condition.
Mm-hmm. Yes, she is. We didn't do too much damage to her.
She must have grown somewhere rich in nutrients.
I might know where that is.
Oh.
Here, I brought you some souvenirs.
Where'd you get them?
You know where you drove off, Big Ugly? Well, there's a spot further in there. And it's just loaded with these things.
It's like there's this energy pulsing inside them.
That is quite beautiful.
All right, partner. Time for an expedition into the Everstream.
Oh, we're heading to the
Admiral said don't be
Everstream.
late.
Ah, there it is. Okay. We'll have to do that another time. Let's quickly chat about color morphs. Because, well, this is classified as a subspecies. Now, for subspecies to occur, you need a few things to happen. You need a population of a species to be isolated from other members of the same species. Now, that isolation can happen by it becoming stranded on an island, for example, or some kind of other geographical isolation happening. For example, in South Africa, we've got a few species that got separated into subspecies due to the interior actually aridifying. And it separated, for example, Blesbok and Bontebok, which are two antelope species we've got here in South Africa. It separated them from one another and resulted in them becoming subspecies. Over time, each population bred with individuals of its own population, and the two populations didn't mix. That resulted in two subspecies of the original species developing. Now, what's happened here with the Pink Rathian, I suspect, is not geographic isolation, but difficulty in finding a partner, because this is not a typical Rathian color. I mean, typical Rathians are green in color. So the Pink Rathian here stands out and looks very different from the other Rathians. And if you are a normal red Rathalos, you'll probably be looking for a green Rathian. And this is not it. This is slightly different. The Pink Rathians may have had a more difficult time in finding partners, and they may have bred with a small population or small subset of partners that did recognize them as potential reproductive partners. So that could have been a form of isolation there, with the allele here becoming more prevalent. And over time, that could have resulted in them becoming two different subspecies. So this is then, I believe, the ornate Rath, Rath ornatus, not Rath regalis, the regal Rath, the normal Rathalos and Rathian. The Pink Rathian and the, I believe, the Azure Rathalos is the male counterpart to it. And I'm sure we will encounter the male subspecies at some point in future. But for now, what a beautiful, beautiful specimen. And I do wonder whether the fact that we didn't cut off the tail was due to us not whacking the tail, or whether the tail is stronger. Maybe it is because we are in high rank now, that some of the creatures are more resilient to our attacks, and the tails aren't detached as easily. I don't know. Either way, I'm glad. I'm glad this specimen over here is actually complete and not damaged in any significant way, at least. Alright, but I think that is where we are going to be calling it today, everybody. So thank you very much for joining me on our little adventure here. Hope you had a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. It was short but sweet. And then next time we are going to be heading into the Everstream. Oh, I'm looking forward to seeing that. That is going to be my first glimpse of the Everstream. I am so excited. But if you've got any questions or comments, please pop it down in the comments below, and I'll be happy to answer as best I can. And then until next time, everybody, stay safe. I'll see you all soon. Cheers!